Welcome then to this presentation on the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus. I'm sure by now that you know that we are the UWI, that we are the #1 university in the Caribbean region. And we don't say that ourselves. We have been internationally ranked by Times Higher Education that has determined we are the #1 university in the Caribbean. And we are, in fact, among the top 100 of Golden Age universities. And those are universities that have been established between 1945 and 1967. UWI having been established in 1948, the first campus at Mona. Our campus at Cave Hill was established in 1963. So we are part of a regional network of university campuses. There are 5 campuses of UWI. This morning in Jamaica, the first campus, St. Augustine in Trinidad, the second campus. Our campus at Cave Hill was the third to be established. We have the global campus, which was the 4th to be established, and that's more or less a virtual campus, serves the entire region and beyond. And then we have the 5 Islands campus located in Antigua and Barbuda, which is the baby among the campuses. And altogether, our student enrollment is in excess of 55,000 students. So we are a significant university. We are, in fact, one of only 2 regional universities in the world. Regional universities meaning universities that have campuses in different sovereign countries, all making up one university. The other one being the University of the South Pacific. So we are special in that regard. And, so we're special in that regard, but there are a number of other things that make us special as a campus as well. And what are those things? We are a very beautiful campus. On the screen, you can see just some of our iconic buildings. At the very bottom right, that's our main administration building, the Hilary McDonald Beckles Administration Building, where you will find offices like admissions, the examinations office, principal's office is on the top floor, the registrar's office, the bursary and student accounts. Those kinds of admin offices are there. So you will find your way to that building fairly often as a student. At the bottom left, that red and white building is our Confucius Institute, our award-winning Confucius Institute, I should say. All students on the campus and faculty and staff too have the opportunity to learn Mandarin if they so desire. Even if it's not part of a program, they can learn the Chinese language free of cost, and many do. And some who do well even get the opportunity to go on a tour to China, again funded by the program for outstanding performers in their Mandarin classes. All right, so those are some of the iconic buildings. We have 2 sections of the campus. So these photos that I'm showing you now, the slide before and this one, are our main campus at Cave Hill. And these are just to give an example of, the exterior of the campus, where we provided, socialization spots for students all across the campus. And the campus is fully Wi-Fi enabled. So students are able to, to continue their classroom discussions outside of the classes room, informally under the trees, in the gazebos, or wherever they so choose. So that's the main campus. And then we have the Paradise Park campus. And this is special for you, for this group this evening, because this is where our Faculty of Sport, our Academy of Sport, is located at Paradise Park. And that's like about a 5-minute walk or so down an incline from the main Cave Hill campus. And at the center of that facility is our Usain Bolt complex that you can see there with the FIFA-sized football field. And also on that, as part of that facility, is our biomechanics laboratory, our state-of-the-art biomechanics laboratory. And I'm sure that you will hear more about that in the presentation from the faculty, because it is a facility that's used not only in teaching of sports science, but in the conditioning of our athletes as well. At the bottom left, that's one of a photo of our graduate studies complex, which is also located on the Paradise Park campus. What also makes us special, we are a very diverse campus, and that's something that our students brag about, and they're very proud about, and they really enjoy the diversity of the campus. We are the most diverse of the UWI campuses. We draw students from across the entire English-speaking Caribbean, and even in some cases, the non-English-speaking Caribbean, because we do have students in our classrooms from the French Caribbean as well. And sometimes from the Dutch Caribbean as well. And we are hoping to be increasing those numbers. And we have an increasing number of international students. Many of them join us on short term for a semester or a year as part of our exchange program. And I'll mention that in a bit more detail a little bit later on. But increasingly, we are bringing, looking to bring more students, international students for full degree programs as well. So our diversity is another thing that makes us special. And that diversity, particularly for those of you who really have as your vision to be making a contribution to the development of the Caribbean, it's really a wonderful place to grow your Caribbean network. And that will serve you well when you go on into the world of work, and being able to have friends that you made at the campus now located all across the Caribbean and even further afield. So our campus students, they do have a lot of fun, but we are a very serious campus as well. So it's a place of fun, frolic, but also serious academics. We have a wonderful residence life. We have 3 halls of residence on the located on the campus. Well, 2 located directly on the campus, and 1 within a 5-minute walk, which is right next door to the Paradise Park campus that I showed you just now. That's the Keith Hunt Hall. Most of the halls offer single bedrooms for students. There are a few that have double rooms, mainly in the Sherlock Hall. But they have shared bath and kitchen and living spaces. And that is what really helps to create the family atmosphere that our students prize as part of hall life. So those halls are the Frank Worrell Hall, and they call themselves the Worrellites. Then there's the Sherlock Hall, the oldest of the halls, and they call themselves the Sherlockites. And then there's the Keith Hunt Hall, located on the way to Paradise Park, and they call themselves the Hunters. And a big part of student life, particularly for students living on campus, is the friendly rivalry that goes on among the halls. And I like to think that at the start of the academic year, they're all out competing to outdo each other in who can have the best welcoming and orientation activities for their residents. In terms of location, for those of you who might be from outside Barbados, the environs of the campus is pretty centrally located, pretty well located in close proximity to Bridgetown. We are about 15 minutes drive away from Bridgetown. That's a picture of Bridgetown at the bottom left, right there, with our Parliament buildings and the distinctive Parliament clock that you can see there. About, as I said, 15 minutes away. And at the very top left, you see a shot of one of the student shuttles. We have provided a free shuttle service for our students. Well, that's a real tongue twister. A free shuttle service for our students. And it takes students to their homes within a 3-mile radius of the campus, but it also takes students into Bridgetown and back throughout the day. The campus is located, we have 2 shopping centers in northerly and southerly direction from the campus, with major supermarkets and restaurants and so on. And we are very close to some of the island's most beautiful beaches. And on any evening, you can see our students with their towels going down to the beach, to enjoy a swim. So we are pretty well located. So there are 7 faculties that we offer, and altogether they provide more than 350 programs at the undergraduate and graduate level. But of course, your interest this evening is in the Faculty of Sport. Sport is very big on the campus. We have some excellent sports teams that do very well in local competitions. Our football team were the inaugural winners, for examples, of the Prime Minister's Cup. That was last year, winning the significant prize in the process. But there are many sports that are supported on the campus. And again, I'm sure you will hear a bit more about that from Dr. Ali. I mentioned a little bit earlier our exchange students, and in this exchange, because it goes in both ways, we welcome students from universities all over the world, North America, UK, Europe, Asia, Africa, but we also give our students the opportunity to go in the other direction for a semester or a year. And that's how the exchange program works. So we have partnerships with, dozens of universities and some of the world's best universities. And our students can go for a semester or a year as part of the degree. So it's integrated into your degree. You select your courses in association with your faculty advisors, and then you can go off for a semester, and then those credits count towards your degree. You don't pay any additional fees to that university. Any fees that are due to the Cave Hill campus, whether they're paid by your government or by you, are paid to the Cave Hill campus as usual. And then you don't pay any tuition fees to the host university. You just pay, need to look for your maintenance costs and accommodation and so on. And in some cases, there are scholarships available to assist with that at some of the locations, particularly universities in Canada. But we wouldn't want all our students choosing only Canada because, there's so much more to choose from. We sent our first student to a university in South Korea last academic year. And she had an awesome time and has been sharing that experience. This year, we have another student that has selected to go to South Korea as well. And we're trying to build our African partnerships so that we have more students moving on study abroad on exchange between our campus and our African partners. We have a well-developed student services and student development program. Our Office of Student Services and Development is very vibrant, so it offers all the range of services that you would expect of a modern university, whether it be academic support, career counseling, disability services. We have a health clinic on the campus with a resident doctor, free health insurance for all our students as part of the amenities fees that students pay. And then they offer, internships, mentorship, different kinds of leadership development programs, volunteer programs. We have professional psychological counseling, and then we have many clubs and societies for our students that students can take part in as well. All right, so we are, to all accounts and purposes, a modern and vibrant university with a very active student life. Just to say, in terms of, I should have made some changes to this slide. I'm sorry, I have a slide here on law, but you are not law, you are sport. So let's see. This one here is yours. For Barbadian students among us, the Barbados government does pay all your fees. But for students that might be joining us from any of the Eastern Caribbean countries, your fees are heavily discounted, whether they're paid by you or your government. So students from the Eastern Caribbean countries, the non-campus countries, will pay just $10,000 Economic cost for 6,000 tuition, so it's 16,000. That's Barbados dollars altogether, which is about 8,000 US dollars for your sports degrees. If you are coming as an international student, then the cost is 36,000 Barbados dollars, which is 18,000 US dollars for that program. Now, where did we go? Let's go back up. That's it. In terms of the master's program, the cost that will be for the master's in sports science, that's a double degree with the University of New Brunswick in Canada, and that the cost for that program is 30,000 Barbados dollars for regional students, members of the 18 countries that contribute to the UWI, and all others pay 36,000 Barbados dollars, which is 18,000 US dollars. So as you can see, our programs are really quite affordable for Caribbean students. We produce really high quality graduates. The University of the West Indies as a whole is known for excellence in academics, and it is proven by the performance of our students who may leave us and decide that they want to go somewhere else for postgraduate study, and the extent to which they not only are able to access to get into any of the top universities anywhere in the world, but the extent to which they excel once they are there. And we are really very proud of our students. So I'm just gonna play a little video for you. Some of you, if you're in Barbados, may have seen this video by this young man already, but we really like to show it because it is an example of, you know, what a combination of, commitment to study, but also imagination and creativity, where it can lead you with a sports science degree. So that's what I'm going to play now.
Hi, my name is Akeem Redder, and I'm a graduate of the Bachelor's in Sports Science program from the Faculty of Sport. I would recommend the program because it's very multifaceted. It covers a lot of different aspects of the sport industry, and it equips any individual to be able to branch off into sport. I chose to do this program because of my passion in sport. I've always played sport from young, coming through primary and secondary school. And this program really attracted me because it was the first in the Caribbean at that point in time. And it really helped me to hone my skills as a hockey player and as an academic as well. So that's what really drew me to the program. So being a student athlete there's a lot of pressure of being a student athlete because you have to maintain certain grades and you have to maintain your skill and standard in the sport. For me, my experiences came through being able to travel and study at the same time. So I got professional contracts out of Barbados and I was able to study while doing it. So I think that really helped me in terms of my career now. As a result of the program, I branched off into disability sport and parasport, and now I have my own business in that field. In my business, it's called Include You Sports Academy, and we focus on physical literacy. The idea of the business is to empower persons with disabilities to become more active. And through being more active and being involved in sport, we allow them to have something to look forward to, something in life that they can do other than just going to the clinic or just staying at home. So it's all about empowering individuals and having them to be more confident in their activities. During the program, there was a course especially called Sport for the Global Marketplace. This course was all about creating a sport business. Another course that played a vital role in my career was Sport for Development. And in this course, we had to develop programs that enhance vulnerable communities within our society. Some of my best experiences sort of in the campus games, winning the campus games, definitely being able to travel with the contingent from Blackbirds, and just representing UWI Cave Hill. That was one of the best experiences that I've had.
All right, so thank you, Akeem. Interestingly,
Hi, my name is Akeem Redder, and I'm a graduate of the...
Interestingly, Akeem is now pursuing a master's in public health in the Faculty of Medical Sciences. So, you know, it's really just amazing how you can build on a first degree. you know, let it take you in all kinds of interesting directions. So that's all I want to say to you. Just to thank you for choosing the UWI at Cave Hill, where we know you belong, and we look forward to welcoming you as new Blackbirds in the new academic year. If you have not yet applied, we encourage you to go ahead and make your application there at cavehill.uwi.edu. Our applications close on the 31st of May. So you have exactly a month after tomorrow, but don't wait until the last minute, because you would want to get your, you know, your acceptance, certainly a decision on your application early. If you have any questions at all about the campus in general, as I said, you can send it to us at recruitment@cavehill.uwi.edu. That's within our student enrollment office. You would be getting, of course, your correspondence from our admissions office, and they would indicate on that correspondence what the specific email addresses to which you should be sending your correspondence. But this is just for general information. We are on WhatsApp as well. We know many students prefer to use our WhatsApp form of communication, particularly those from outside Barbados. So you're free to take that number down and WhatsApp us any questions that you have. And we are very active on social media in terms of information that is relevant on the road to enrolling in the university. So we would encourage you, if you are on Instagram or Facebook, to follow us as well. And that is our social media handle there at CERU Cave Hill. So that's all I would want to say for now. And I will just hand you back over to Dr. Rudolph Ali, the head of our Academy of Sport. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Adderley. That was a very comprehensive introduction to the UWI Cave Hill campus. I want to say, just watching that, I felt as though if it was a student, I wouldn't need to ask any other questions, because you touched on every single thing, including the Faculty of Sport, the Academy of Sport. I'll just talk about a few things. I already put in the chat if there are any questions, and I see there's one question for me, but I'll get to that shortly. In the Academy of Sport, we are the part of the Faculty of Sport. As Ms. Athalie explained, there are 5 campuses, and on each campus, there's an Academy of Sport. So at Cave Hill, there's an Academy of Sport, which is part of the Faculty of Sport. I'm the head of the Academy of Sport at Cave Hill, and I oversee the academic and the sporting programs here. In the academic programs, we have 2 undergraduate degrees in the Bachelor's in Sports Science and the Bachelor's in Sports Coaching. We have 2 minors that were also just approved recently. So you can do a minor in sports coaching. So if you're doing sports science and you want to do a minor in sports coaching, you can do that. If you're doing sports coaching and you want to do a minor in sports science, you can do that. Also, if you're from a different faculty and you wanted to take a minor in either sports coaching or sports science, you can do that with us here in the Academy of Sport. Additionally, we have a master's program, and that is a master's in sports science, which is done in conjunction with the University of New Brunswick out of Canada. So I'll speak to the question which was asked earlier. Is the MSc in Sports Science program available for the upcoming academic year? Currently, there is a pause on the program. We're renegotiating that, but we're hoping that it can start pretty soon after September, probably in January. And as Ms. Athalie explained earlier, the cost of that program to locals and to contributing countries to UWI is 30,000 Barbados dollars or 15,000 US. For those countries outside of the region or not contributing to UWI, it is 36,000 Barbados dollars or 18,000 US dollars. Also coming this year in September is the PhD in Sport. The PhD in Sport is a general degree which allows you to study any aspect of sport. So for instance, if you wanted to study sports journalism, you could do the PhD in Sport with a specialty in sports journalism. If you wanted to do sports management, you could do the PhD in Sport with a specialization in management. So we're looking to have that program started in September. I know there's great interest in that. We have a number of former students from both the undergraduate and the master's program who are going to be applying to that PhD in sport program. Part of our degree programs also have the aspect of an internship or practicum, which is very useful because apart from what you learn in the classroom, we want to give you that experience in the field of sport. And we have this program set up with many of our sporting organizations in Barbados. So you can do an internship at the BOA, you can do an internship at the BFA, Barbados Football Association. You can do it with cricket at the BCA. You can do it with RADO, which is the Regional Anti-Doping Organization. We've had some students also at BTMI, Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., especially those in the master's program. And if you're from any of the other islands in the region, Trinidad, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Grenada, you can also do it at home with your regional sporting bodies too as well. We've had many students from Trinidad and from St. Lucia and St. Vincent who've done those programs at, in their countries with the regional sporting bodies. Part of our building here at the Usain Bolt complex has, as I think Pat would have mentioned it too as well, we have a strength and conditioning lab and a biomechanics and exercise physiology lab with very close to up-to-date facilities in terms of biomechanics and exercise physiology. We have 4 classrooms, 1 on the ground floor and 3 on the second level, where we deliver our classes here at the Academy of Sport. And you would have seen in the photos, which Ms. Atlee would have shown, we have a 400-meter track, which is certified by World Athletics. We have a football field, which is a FIFA-approved football field in the middle of the track. And then we have the 3Ws Oval, which is on main campus, which is probably second best in terms of cricket facilities in Barbados. The only one that may be better than that is Kensington Oval. Right? We also have 2 hard courts, which facilitates the sports of netball, volleyball, basketball, and tennis. So apart from the academics, we have a full suite of facilities which allow us to play all the sporting disciplines which we take part in. There are 12 sporting disciplines: football, cricket, tennis, table tennis, taekwondo, swimming, netball, basketball, hockey, track and field, chess, which we do here at the KFIL campus. And we have just combined all of those sports to form an official UWI Blackbird Club. So before they existed in silos separately, but now we have formed a club, UWI Blackbirds, under the Academy of Sport. Pat would have mentioned the success of the football team, especially recently winning the inaugural Prime Minister's Cup in November. But we've had lots of success with cricket over the years, with volleyball as well, some success with hockey, and some very good success as well with netball. So if you're very much into playing those sports as a student, we will want you to join our UWI Blackbirds teams to continue the success in the various sporting disciplines. That's it for me. That's it in a nutshell. In terms of, I'm not sure if all of you have applied to the program as yet, but in terms of applications to the program, the minimum qualification is 5 CSET, including math, English, and a laboratory science. If you want to apply to the master's program or the PhD MPhil program, it would be first degree with upper, second class, or first class honors, which allows you to apply to those 2 programs. That's it from me in a nutshell. I don't know if there are any other questions apart from the question regarding the MSc in Sports Science. I see, I have my colleague here, Mr. Javier Reed, who is one of the lecturers in the Academy of Sport, Faculty of Sport. I don't know if he wants to chip in and say a few words. Apart from myself, who's the main lecturer, we have Mr. Javier Reed and Mr. Nicia Wood, who are part of the teaching staff in the Academy of Sport. Mr. Reed, any words from you?
Sure. Hi. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Dr. Ali. Sport takes you outside. Thank you very much to everybody who's taken the time to participate in this informational session. I am outside waiting on my daughter, having collected our son from track and field practice. But what I want to just add, although the presentations were very comprehensive, was an encouragement to both prospective students and parents who may be here online with us. I want to encourage you to make the choice. One of the things that may prohibit individuals from taking a step forward as it relates to sport has to do with the what do we do after, and that's a real and it's an honest and a valid concern. But I think that we can all appreciate how the growth of sport globally, it continues, and we are all within touching distance of it in the Caribbean. And we see not just the performances on the field or on the court or on the track, but when we consider what we do here in the Faculty of Sports, which is through our programming in exercise and sports science and sport coaching, then you begin to recognize the industry of sport, and then all of those careers that help to enhance and make up the spectacle that we enjoy. And even for those of us who engage in recreational sport, we can begin to think about the personal and the health benefits that concern sport. And those are the fundamental things that you learn both in the exercise and sports science program, in coaching as well. And I have a personal belief that the strength and quality of our sports persons and what we get out of sport is really dependent on the quality of persons involved. So we really need you. We as Barbados, we as the Caribbean, everybody knows you're either an athlete, or you know an athlete, or you have a family member who was involved in sport in some way. Many of them might have had significant potential, and for various reasons, they didn't continue. But when we're able to develop a cadre of individuals with the technical expertise to get the best out of individuals from a performance perspective, then we can begin to see a lot more. We can begin to experience and celebrate a lot more through the success of sport. And when we are able to have individuals with that base excellent knowledge, which you will receive through your university degree, as it relates to sport, as it relates to exercise science and health and nutrition, all those areas that are covered within the program, then we can begin to see and actually recognize the value that sport lends to society in a different way. So my encouragement is for those of you who are undecided. The truth is, the coaching degree, the BSc in coaching, and we all have a general sense of what coaching is. And coaching is really a profession. Exercise and sports science, it can take you in the scientific realm of exercise science. It can take you towards the management of sport, because we have a stream that is focused on that. And even those of you who have your interest in other faculties, as Dr. Aline mentioned, we do have minors in both exercise and sports science, and a minor in coaching as well too. So there are always options here. And university is a place to learn and to grow. University is a space to develop and cultivate good habits that are going to take you for the rest of your life. And I want to encourage you, make the plunge, take the decision, and the Faculty of Sport is welcoming to all of you. So I look forward to seeing and hearing you in the very near future.
Thank you very much, Javier. Javier is one of our young, exciting lecturers in the program. I want to, as he said, I want to encourage you. Don't be afraid. Come on to the Faculty of Sport, join us, and I'm sure you'll have an exciting experience in this faculty with all of the knowledge that we will bring to you. As he also said, and I say this all the time, people sometimes may get a little flustered when I said it to one of our presidents of a local sporting body. And he said to me, "You're talking nonsense, but sport is a science, right? Whether we like it or not, it is a science. The whole science of movement, the science of how can we perform at our best, right? It is very important that we understand that, and that is part of the development of not only our various sporting disciplines, but our young people and our people generally in Barbados and across the region. So if you have any questions, I open the floor to you to ask those questions now. I know some of you may be shy, and again, in the faculty of sport, you can't be shy because you have to be involved one way or another in the classroom or on the field of play or in the labs. And you have to share information, ask questions, especially if you want to make it a true, authentic learning experience. So if you have any questions now, feel free to ask them. I think we touched on almost everything, but you may have a few questions for us.
Okay, and they can either put them in the chat or let us hear your voice. You can open your microphone and, you know, ask your questions that way as well. So don't go home and then say, oh, I should have asked this or I should have asked that. Ask your question now. Of course, if you go home and you find you have a question, you can still send it to our email address and you'll answer it then. But since you're here, it's good to get your questions answered now.
And let me add this because it's happening, and I foresee in the next 4 to 5 years that sports is going to be bigger in Barbados. It's big already, but it's going to be bigger in Barbados. There are lots of moving parts, let me put it that way, that's going on right now in Barbados as it relates to sport, especially cricket too as well. So don't be afraid or concerned about what will happen after you finish with your degree at KFIL campus. I can foresee that many things will happen in the next 5 years to move sport along and give that exposure to our young people as it relates to sport. So I see a question as it relates to pursuing a career in physiotherapy, what programs do you recommend? So in the Academy of Sport, we do not have a program specific to physiotherapy. However, we've had at least 5 of our students who would have done the BSc in Sports Science who have gone on to do physiotherapy or a closely related field. I can speak to about 2 of them who've gone to England and done a master's in physiotherapy. We had a couple of students who've gone on to either Mona or to the US too as well and done physiotherapy. So the sports science degree gives a strong base for exploring that opportunity to do sports physiotherapy or sports therapy. We're actually looking at the possibility of doing a degree next year in sports therapy, which is a degree which has become fairly popular in the UK and in Europe. So hopefully by next year, we'll have that program up and running. Any other questions?
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi. I joined the meeting on behalf of my son because he is pursuing studies in the UK right now. But I just wanted to expand on what you commented on not too long ago with regards to a career after completing your degree. Then what happens, because my son is a cricketer, a national cricketer in Barbados. And the concern is, from what I understand, is that a large number of those young cricketers have chosen to take up faculty of sport, right? After they leave school. And where are they going to go after completing this program? Because do we have enough areas and opportunities in Barbados after they've completed their programs to earn a living? I was told no, that, there are all these people. I'm just being devil's advocate here. All of these students that are looking to study faculty of sport, whether in the sports science or sports coaching. And where would they go and work afterwards in Barbados if they're local, if they reside here? Where are the opportunities here? Do we have enough places to take on these persons after? That is my
Well,
question.
thank you very much for the question. I can't speak to whether we have enough, but I can tell you there are opportunities. We've had a number of graduates who have gone on to work at the BCA, the BFA. A couple of them have gone into schools where they've worked in the programs in terms of physical education teachers and so on in the schools. A lot of them have worked in various gyms across the island. Some of them have even started their own programs, as you would have seen with Akeem Rather, and a couple others who would have started their own programs in terms of the whole industry of sport. Across the region, we've had a number of our graduates who've gone on to either play for the West Indies. The name that comes to mind right now, because he's current, is Mr. Kavim Hodge, who came through the program and he played cricket while he was doing the program too as well. We would have created the environment for him to play cricket while he was still doing his studies, and he has been elevated now to the Cricket West Indies test team. We had a couple other students who've gone on and done professional sports too as well. Again, another name that comes to mind is Laurie Sharp, was a Jamaican student who came to Barbados. She did the program at KPhil, and while she was doing the program, she went overseas. She actually got a professional contract in Europe as a cyclist, and she finished her final year in Europe while still doing the program here at KPhil, and now she rides on the professional circuit in the US. So there are opportunities, and I don't want you to limit your opportunities to Barbados. That's why I'm giving those examples, right? Because the world is your oyster. As I said earlier, we've had a number of students who've done the BSc and then went on to do their masters and even PhDs. Currently we have 3 students at UNB who left Barbados. They did their masters here and they went to UNB and they're doing their PhD. So don't limit yourself to Barbados and the region. What I will say, I don't want to say too much, but being on a number of sporting committees locally, that's what I'm saying. Within the next 4 to 5 years, right, the environment is going to be ripe for young people who are in sport. A number of things are happening. There are a number of moving parts that will create that environment for, yes, Javier, as soon as I'm finished, they create that environment for young people in sport. And it's a growing industry. Locally, internationally, it's a growing industry. Go ahead, Javier.
Right. Thank you very much, Doc. I just wanted to somewhat echo what Dr. Ali was saying, but just also to remind the reality of a university education in any discipline, more or less. It doesn't guarantee a job. For me, and I can speak for myself, and what I see and what I want to see out of students is for them to develop good habits, right? Developing good habits. Your son is a cricketer, so he'd know a lot about cricket and good habits and when to leave and when to play the ball and setting up an innings if he's a batsman or even planning if he's a bowler. It's about developing good habits. And a first degree really expands and hones your capacity to learn. And our societies globally are changing. I mean, these days, and I tell students all the time, you really don't need me to give you the types of information that I'm going to give you, because I'm sure if you search well enough online, you'll be able to find it. But what we do and what a university can do is help you to understand how you yourself learn and to be able to apply information. And I think that success for any individual, no matter what space, no matter what field you choose, really has to do with the good habits that you develop. And like Dr. Aline mentioned, sport it's global. And one of the wonderful things about KPhil campus, and Ms. Adeline mentioned it, and the University of the West Indies generally, is the interaction you have with folks from not just all across the Caribbean, but across the world as well too. And it begins to help you to understand what exists. So to you, Ms. Branch, and for your son, currently in the UK, where there are going to be lots of opportunities if the decision is to come back to consider, or to come back to Barbados to undertake the degree or any degree at Cave Hill. Encourage him to have a clear idea, or to think and ask questions of people. Where does he want to go? What does he want to do? And what's going to be necessary to get there? And one of the excellent things about our space in the Faculty of Sport, yes, we're small, but it makes us a family, a real nurturing space where we want the best for our students. And we're happy to say that we have actually seen the best come out of our students. And even though there have been quite a number of young men who have come into the sports science program, it's just like at school where everybody wants to make the team, but only X number get there. There are always opportunities. And those of us in life who are consistent and we develop good habits, I think that's a job well done for a university and any university program, and for any parent as well too. But we're welcoming, and thank you again for the question. It's a very valid concern.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to ask one more question. With regards to what if, because as I mentioned, my son is a national player, and with regards to all those students, him included, having to leave the class or travel during classes, how does UE support students that have to leave for any given reason with, keeping up with, the workload, or keeping up with their assignments and things like that? How does the support come through?
Right. So we provide a situation where once we know well in advance, we work with the students and with the faculty members to facilitate that opportunity for the students. We understand the importance of sport, and therefore we would never want to limit the opportunities for our students in the program. I can tell you, as recently as last week, we had 3 young ladies who were selected for the Barbados national team, right? And we're in the process of making sure that they can go on that tour with Barbados, and we'll find opportunities for them to continue their studies. As it relates to the exam period right now, they may miss the exam, but we're going to see how we can facilitate them taking that exam, if not in the summer, next semester when it's being offered. So we create that environment for them to make sure that they can play both the sport and continue their studies. Remember I mentioned Kavim Hodge. Kavim was very, very much interested both in cricket locally when he played for Cave Hill campus, but also playing for the Windward Islands. And each semester, when we had cricket in when we had cricket in semester 1, Kavim knew that he was going to be selected, and then he would come and work out with his advisor, lesser workload. So rather than doing 5 courses, he would take the 3 and we would work with him in terms of his assignments, when they were going to be submitted and so on. And he was able to finish his degree. At the same time, he was also playing cricket for Windward Islands, right? So we worked that out with our students.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Feel free to ask. Don't be shy. We have a couple more minutes, so you can pose your questions. Yeah, I want to reinforce, though. I tell my students this all the time. There are 2 things that I try to encourage my students to do. One is if they can spend a semester abroad, get a taste of what it's like to study overseas. So a lot of our students have done that, particularly at UIMB in Canada, where the program is being offered. They've done at least a semester. Some students even spent a year at another university overseas and completed the degree. Right. The other thing I always say to them: do not limit yourself to the shores of Barbados, right, or to shores of St. Vincent or Trinidad or wherever. See the world as your oysters. That opportunity for you once you're finished your degree, right? see the world as the opportunity for you to go on and study or work or do whatever it is that you need to do in sport. Don't limit yourself. So that's something I want to say to you, Ms. Branch, that don't limit yourself to Barbados, or don't let your son limit himself to Barbados, right? You can work anywhere in the world once you have the quality degree that you're going to earn from UWI Cave Hill campus. Good night. I have a first degree in physical education from BCC. We've had to complete teaching practicum. Also just wondering how long are the teaching practicums in this program? But we don't offer teaching practicums per se, but in coaching, we have an undergraduate practicum in coaching that you do. The practicum is 200 hours. So once you complete those 200 hours, and the 200 hours is made up of not only face-to-face contact in the sport, but planning of the various sessions, researching information. So that makes up your 200 hours in the BSc sports coaching. The other practicums that we do at the undergraduate level will be just kind of internships in the various sporting organizations. At the master's level in the BSc sports science, there's a practicum, but that practicum is 400 hours versus the 200 hours that we do in the BSc sports coaching. Thanks for that question. Any other questions? All right, the time says 7:02. I'm going to give you 1 more minute. If you have any questions that you can put them in the chat, or as Ms. Branch did, you can come in and ask the question. So you have 1 minute left before we say our goodbyes. I don't know if there's anything else that this athlete would want to say.
Not really. Just reflecting on that question from Ms. Branch in relation to, you know, what they will do after. And thinking that, as Xavier said, is read that, you know, there's a question that can be asked for any undergraduate program. But the good thing about, you know, student sports people doing a program in sports science is that they're doing a program in an area that they love, which means that they're more than likely to do well in it, which then sets them up for, you know, for other opportunities, whether it be for, you know, for scholarships, for further study. And, you know, young people know the world is not so interdisciplinary. You know, they have a way of, and that video that we showed as an example with Akeem, I mean, he did sports science, he was a hockey player. And then in the course of the program, he saw that opportunity to marry sports science that answer a societal need for people with disabilities. And now he has decided that his next course of study will be public health. You know, but his foundation is sport. But he's serving community in the area of health and the connection between health and sport. You know, other students might find the connection between health and the digital realm, you know, and some people might become sports writers or, you know, and nutritionists and all kinds of things. Young people are very, very creative. And all the first degree in sports science or sports coaching is giving them that foundation to fly from, you know, from which they can go in all kinds of directions and all kinds of careers, you know, but linked to an area that they love as people who love sport. And that's what was going through my mind as I listened to the discussion between you and, you know, Xavier and Ms. Branch, who asked two very, very good questions.
I'll add to that too, but I'll say there's so many opportunities in sport. I mean, in Barbados and the region, we probably only unearth a few of them. We talk about coaching, or we talk about being a PE teacher or working in the gym, but there's so many occupations related to sport, as you rightfully said. And all you got to do is follow your passion, and it will take you there.
It will take you, you know, in commercial, so many things in the commercial area. You know, so many businesses to open that are linked to sport, you know, and young people, that's the way their mind is lurking, you know, they'll find their way, and they'll be finding it based on something that they have a passion for. You can't really ask for anything more than that. So I don't really have anything more to say other than to thank those persons who have come and participated, and then to reiterate that if you do have any questions that you didn't think about asking tonight when you leave, you can shoot us an email at recruitment@cavehill.uwi.edu. That will come to our office. and we will be more than happy to provide any further information. And it doesn't only have to be about the program, it might be about, you know, about the campus generally, it might be about the study abroad program, which is also administered from our office in student enrollment. You know, anything that you want to know about the campus, you can contact us.
Thank you very much, Ms. Atlee. Thanks to all of you who joined this evening for this information session. I hope that you would have gotten something from this session. And if you haven't applied yet to the Academy of Sport, Faculty of Sport at KFIL campus, I hope you have your applications in very soon so that we can welcome you in September. Have a wonderful night. I know tomorrow is a holiday, so enjoy your holiday. And we look forward to seeing you in the Faculty of Sport come September 2025.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Same to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.